delving into Cat Williams / Diddy / Jay-Z and what the fuck is going on?
Here's the thing. I'll cede the floor to you guys, because all I know is shit went down there. The pedophilia. I mean, look, having worked in Hollywood for as long as I did, it's a cesspool, man. And the entertainment industry. So whatever's in those P. Diddy files. Well, my only thing is this. And I'm looking for, obviously, as detailed, much greater on our post-election elation episode. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years and beyond. I am so glad that I have faith restored in this country. Especially, I look back on the post-election elation episode with having coming out of the Reagan movie. There is hope in this country, and is Donald Trump Ronald Reagan? No. But the feeling is there. There's hope again as we move forward. And again, with people from across the aisle, Democrats voting for Donald Trump in bigger numbers than I think anything since Reagan. I think our country is poised to regain that positivity. But he had the chance to open the files from the island. The Epstein Island before. I want action, not words. And very briefly here, Marty, I want to quickly diverge because, folks, we've got a segment coming up in 2025. We'll do a quick look forward right now. We are going to be doing what we're going to get a little bit more political from time to time on this show. And we're going to have an episode or a segment called Feet to the Fire, where we hold our politicians, whether they're Democrat or Republican. We kept politics on the back burner, and we will to a very, very large degree, because the mission statement of the show is not about our differences. It's about what brings us together, whether it's music or movies or books or whatever. But when we talk about politics, we are going to make sure we are holding our politicians' feet to the fire, whether it's Trump or whoever the Democrats have or whoever the Republican leadership is. And I hope that there is more teeth. There's more. And don't worry, I'm not going to go digging in the D's for Def Leppard Pyromania. I want action, not words. I'm tired of the I'm going to do this, and then you don't. Feet to the fire. We're looking forward to it. And we're going to have a guest from our premiere episode from all over the place. Had some good text messages or emails, Facebook Messenger earlier today. And he'll be coming back because there's something he holds near and dear to his heart that I hope gets. We're going to kick off in the new year. One of our first episodes will be the feet to the fire will be very, for me at least, centered on this topic. But with these Diddy files, again, give me action, not words.
So on that vein, what do we think as far as disclosure? What are we going to find out? So, I mean, Trump says a lot of things, and he follows through with a lot of them. But let's be honest and say, what do we really believe we're going to find? Are we going to find out? Are we going to get all the redacted stuff from? Let's just go with 9/11. Are we going to get that? Yay or nay?
No. It's whatever it is you're talking about is buried too deep at this point.
So, so what about Epstein? Are we going to get that? That's the biggest. Diddy's a big one, but that's a big one.
As I mentioned a few seconds ago, I say no because he had his chance in his first term and he didn't.
Okay, all right.
Maybe there's a change of heart now. I don't know.
Are we going to get redacted? What was your answer on that one, Jim?
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of names being thrown around, but I think naming names is not the same as proving anything. And I think it's easy to throw mud at people just by saying they were on a list that they weren't necessarily on, or that you can't prove that they're on. So I think there's just no way to know for sure what happened at this point, unless some really damning stuff comes out. So I think we're going to see a lot of names thrown around, but I think it's hard to say.
Well, so would you? Okay, I don't remember the number, I think it was like 38 or something. 38 times Bill Clinton was on the Epstein plane heading to the island. I think it was 38. Or no, maybe it was just he was on the plane with them. Various locations. And Joe Rogan made a point. He said, Jamie's his producer. He said, we've been working together for years now. Have we been on 38 flights together? I don't think so. I don't think we have. Isn't that weird? Like, are we? I mean, these certain things where it's not like, well, yeah, we don't have evidence that they did anything.
Right.
38 times. It's not. It's hard to say nothing was there. It's hard to.
Well, when it comes to Bill Clinton, it's pretty hard to assume innocence at this point.
With a critical mind, you can't look at that and go, well, they could have been going to Vegas. Like that's childish. 38.
Well, here's the problem, though, Marty, and you're absolutely right. And obviously, nefarious things went down.
Yep.
But John Q or Jane Q Public, they don't care.
Well, that's the thing.
It's you've got your bread and circuses. You've got. I'll bring citing Bill Hicks, who I think is dead because he said too much of the truth. He said, "Here's your American Gladiators." I say, "Here's your Dancing with the Stars." You keep people distracted with quote unquote entertainment or just distractions. They don't care.
Well, and I think that's a segment I've written down here that we should get to about the distraction. But I'm thinking more of not just a list, more of we're going to unclassify all of this and we're going to find out all the facts. We're going to find out because obviously Epstein was the original Diddy. That's where he got the idea. We're going to provide these people with all the debauchery they want. Whatever it is they need, we're going to give it to them. Their fetish, whatever it might be, including children, we'll give it to them. But we're going to record that shit and then they own you. I own your ass. Do you think people are giving Epstein all these, millions of billions of dollars worth of value for no reason? So I'm just wondering how much is going to come out. And I'm hoping that it's a lot because, as you said, we like a circus. We like games. We like the big flashy thing, the shiny thing. This would be a big one if we had some of that evidence. If we had all right, we're just going to release it all, like Snowden. Here it is. Big dump.
Well, I mean, I hope it all gets out there. Frankly, I think I would like to know who's involved in that kind of sick shit.
Yeah, I think they should be beaten to death, then revived, brought back to health, and then beaten to death again. That's what I think those people
bury them under the prison. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
What I will say though is that rich and famous and powerful people are very, very good at keeping their names out of the papers.
They are.
Always have been, always will be. So I don't think we're ever going to know everything about who was there and what they did.
Probably not.
But I would be absolutely delighted if it all came out and we could beat the shit out of all of them. I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
Well, and stop going to see their movies.
Yes.
Well, exactly. I don't know. They make pretty good movies.
Well, and I saw the commercial or whatever, the promo for it. Tom Hanks narrating The Americas during the football games I was watching yesterday. I was like, well, the guy is pro-military to a degree. He is the one who brought us Band of Brothers and the Pacific. Obviously, there's a respect for the military there, but he's still a guy who had multiple flights to the island. I'm with both of you guys. I hope it does come out, but
yeah,
even if it does, will it matter? Now, here I'll throw this to you, Marty. Now that Bobby Kennedy Jr. is a vital part of helping get Trump elected this past year, do you think we're going to see anything declassified files that now that there's that statute of limitation? Are we going to find out the truth behind John F. Kennedy's murder?
I was getting to that, and that was another one I was going to mention, and I think
that's why I'm a good host, Marty. I sense these things.
Yeah.
DJ Baby Powder has other powers.
ESPN.
So I think I don't know. I think we kind of already know that, that wasn't exactly what went down, and then there's a lot of shady things going on, and I think we're going to get some more.
You mean Arlen Specter was wrong about the magic bullet? What?
Oh my God! So I think what's going to happen is we're going to find out a lot more, and it won't be enough to satisfy us. That's what I think.
And I think, again, I hate to throw a spotlight on apathy, but the three of us are fairly intelligent people who know more than the average person, or just are more interested in this stuff. But I just think that John and Gene Q Public don't care. So what's worse?
Yeah.
I think people care up to a point, but it's more of the mystery that tantalizes people. I think once people find out, then everyone will just kind of shrug and move on.
Yeah,
I
knew it.
Like Jack the Ripper, they found out who Jack the Ripper was, and nobody cared after that.
There's a big one. The United States government was like, yeah, so those are most likely aliens, and we all went, yeah. We didn't care. Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
People just move on. So it's more about the mystery. I think John and Jane Q Public do care up to a point, but I think once it all comes out, it doesn't really affect people that much anymore.
It doesn't move the needle.
Yeah,
it's so sad. It's pathetic. I'll say it. That
did you hear?
If you were to find out that John F. Kennedy was actually killed by his own government, that's big fucking news. But most people, it won't move the needle.
But would it shock anyone, or would anyone who isn't already dead go to jail for it?
And that's the problem. We're 60, almost 70 years past this fact.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and here's an example of why we know that that's the case. Nancy Pelosi absolutely smoked Warren Buffett in her stock trading.
She's just a good investor, Marty. That's all. Okay.
We all just sit here and just go, that's okay. I guess that's fine. Obviously she cheated. Obviously they all cheat. And we just go, well, what are you going to do about it? And it's hard. It's hard for the ants to get any momentum. It really is.
Well, as we learned, a little bit more, it's going to be almost 2 months ago now by the time this episode drops. The plebes spoke on November 5th.
Yes, they did. Yes,
and new media is helping. But again, how much can we make the needle move? Feet to the fire, folks. Look forward to 2025, where the three of us are invested in this stuff. The three of us do care. We're going to be bringing people on who do care. Nick Searcy.
To bring us back to
Nick on, Stanley Ridgely, who I've gotten to know through LinkedIn. This is a guy who holds people's feet to the fire with the DEI in the scholastic arena. America's the pendulums, as we brought up on the post-election elation show, the pendulum's swinging in the right direction. We just have to make sure that it keeps swinging.
Yeah.
And we're approaching the 225th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no, the 250th.
50th, yes.
Yeah, the 250th. I'm sorry, I'm not good at math to begin with, and the whiskey made it even worse. So, we the people have spoken.
Yes, and to
but will we continue to speak? The three of us absolutely will, and we're bringing on more people who will speak.
To bring this back to a positive note, I don't think Donald Trump is the savior.
No.
However, he is a move in a direction of electing people for what they think we can. Will your family be better off with this person or that person? Will the future be brighter with this person or that person? Not necessarily the minutia of the ideology and the things we may not even worry about in 2 years. So we have an opportunity here. And I think Trump, I mean, you said, well, he's not Reagan. We're going to find out. He might be more than Reagan if this continues, because this is the first guy to ever go, I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care what you are. You're smart. Will you help me? With Musk and Vivek, who was an opponent of his, having these guys actually look into things, having these guys actually not do politicians' work, not just be some politician stroking the oar, actually really digging in. And to our health, the food, it's such a huge thing. I feel super excited that Kennedy is going to dig into this. He doesn't have skin in the game. He's an older guy. He's not going to be elected president. He knows that. He has a real good reason to make his legacy count by actually doing something. And man, I'm excited about the future, because not because of Trump himself, but because his willingness to say all that old shit doesn't matter. We need new stuff. We need a new way of looking at things. Not let's get some more politicians in here. Let's get him in there because he's been around a long time and he knows what he's doing. That don't matter. Bring in guys. Elon Musk wasn't even born here. That don't matter. He's a genius and he knows how to make money. How about we get him in charge of that's out of the box thinking? That's why they hate him. That's why they ruined him the last time he was president. That's why they drug him through the mud like he'd never seen before. He's shaking the canoe.
Well, on that note, Marty, I mean, obviously, his first 4 years, he was attacked, and we now know, without any good reason. Do you think we're going to see more of this in the next 4 years, or do you think that based on the overwhelming numbers that we saw on election day this year, do you think that we're going to actually have people saying Pelosi or just anyone from the opposition saying, sit down, shut up, we're not buying this anymore? Do you think we're going to see that anymore this time around than we saw the first 4 years?
Well, I think so. I think if you remember the first Trump presidency, we still weren't able, we still weren't able to cast off that cloak of say what you want to say, because it was still cancel culture and how dare you. And I think this time people are like, hang on a minute, I voted for who I wanted to vote for. I feel the way I feel, and I don't care what you think, and I don't care that you're going to cancel me. I don't care that you're going to kick me out of the Thanksgiving get together or whatever it might be. I think this time was different because the people who were just trying to just stay quiet and not rock the boat are tired of being quiet, tired of worrying about whether or not we've offended some group. And I'm not going to get into specifics because that's negative, but we're tired of being the silent majority. Enough. Yeah. We're going to be the majority that actually has something to say. And I think that really presses us forward with whoever's going to be next, whether it's Congress or the presidency. I think it really makes them stand up and listen and go, wow. So these people are no longer going to sit by and just let all this happen, because there was too much of that. If you said you were to vote for Trump, you got a bunch of shit for it. And I think brighter days are ahead, and Trump is only the catalyst. He's not the savior. He's the catalyst. He's just
it's up to us. It's up to we the people. This is our country.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump, not a politician, not someone who is investing in themselves.
Yeah.
At the political level.
Yeah.
It's up to us. And if
we elected that guy to shake it up, and now it's our part to, okay, you wanted it shook up. Here it is. Now it's up to us to really continue to press forward and be positive with our message. And, hey, we're not right wing wackos. We're just people.
We're
just people trying to live in a good America.
Bingo. We are not Democrats. We are not Republicans. We are Americans.
All right. For that, I will do it Eric style, right out of the jug.
Boom!
America.
You're here.
It's been a while since I've taken a drag. Or a pull.
A pull.
I'm definitely walking to get my fourth meal tonight. There will be no driving tonight.
Oh yeah,
Jim. Your thoughts on this?
I think as far as all the character attacks and things like that, I think they're going to throw everything they have at him, but I don't think it's going to work because they've already thrown everything they have at him and then some. And a lot of it is proven. So I don't think any of that is going to change, except that it's going to be very ineffective at this point because it's already been going on for 8 years. I think a bigger concern is what those narratives they're pushing are going to inspire in people, certain people. And we've already seen some of that. We saw what happened to Trump's ear. I'll just leave it at that. And those kinds of things. That to me is a bigger concern. But I also think that Trump what Trump is trying to do is bigger than him at this point.
Yeah.
He has his VP, he has Elon, he has all of these, he has an infrastructure in place now that he didn't have before, a political infrastructure in place to carry on his message. And I think that, some of the things he's doing are kind of incredible. I've been hearing every politician in my lifetime talk a good game about, too much spending, too much corruption, too much government, too much this, too much that. They always talk about it. They don't do jack about it when they get the chance. And he is actually building an infrastructure in place to actively dismantle some of that. Probably not as much as he says, but some of it. And just rolling back some of it is light years ahead of anything I've seen in my lifetime. So I think it's not just what he's going to do in the next 4 years. And that I think is the biggest thing is almost every politician I've seen has basically said, I'm going to make your life better, or I'm going to pretend to make your life better during my term. What he is trying to set up is something where he says, I can make your life better for the next 50 years by removing a lot of the corruption and malfeasance that's getting in the way. And that is huge. If he can build an infrastructure that's going to be in place for, not generations, but for presidencies after his, that could have a huge long-term impact that we haven't seen in our lifetimes. So 100%. That to me, more than anything else, is what I'm optimistic about.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. This is the first non-consecutive president that we've seen in 2 centuries now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first basically lame duck president of our. It's an interesting, and very unique situation. And I hope, you know what, I'm a guy who expects the worst and prays for the best. I like what you said there, Jim. He knows what this is and where his place as this lame duck second non-consecutive term president is, and he's setting things up. Much like his first term, and I was accused of, you're the perfect Trump candidate. You're a single white male. Well, no, again, this is for America. And in his first term, well, I'll say the first 3 years, because his fourth year, I've described the problem. I don't want to revisit it. But in those first 3 years, and maybe even I don't have the stats in front of me or the dates in front, the appointments in front of me, but he set up conservative judges in the different districts, people who believe in the Constitution. He did that in his first term. And I can only hope and pray that he does that in his second term, because this is it's a free-for-all. And this is his time to, like you said, Jim, set things up for the next 50 and beyond years. I look forward to, and Marty, what you said, just like there's an energy right now that I love because it's people who I said it before and I will say it again. Democrat, Republican, whatever. We're Americans, and this is what we want. And you may look at, the buffoon in chief, whatever. He's rough around the edges. Who gives a shit? He's someone who wants this country to move in a direction minus. And Jim, A+, best use of malfeasance of the year. Love it. We're poised for our return to greatness and a belief in us, a belief in the American spirit.
Yeah.
I
and
love
that's a big point. That is a big point because if you look at history, we're right about at that time where an empire falls.
And this is something that happens whether it's an empire or a republic or whatever. Every 80 years, there's an upheaval.
Yep.
So if you
the upheaval that we see now is positive.
Yes.
Maybe for the first time ever.
And we have just come out of a dark time, and it's not because I have any agenda against LGBTQ. I just don't have that agenda. But we came out of a dark time where if you didn't agree with me, you're a racist or you're a bigot or you're this and that. We came out of a time where this looks like an empire that's not going to last, to now where Trump won the election and the people who voted for him aren't saying, see, we fucking told you, you goddamn stupid people. We're not doing any of that. We're just like, hey, so he's your president now. Let's all get together and make this thing better instead of focusing on how terrible it is. We disagree. So what? So what? We agree that we want our families to prosper generationally. We want things to be better, and we want this country to continue on a path of prosperity, we'll say, rather than
positivity.
Yes, because we're at that time where the memory starts to go and the knees are cracking, and we're on the downhill now. And
hey, I'm only 55.
If this could be the spark, yes, you can get the senior discount at Denny's. We're at the point now where this can revive the strength of America. The strength of America is we are free to excel and do what we can do best and make this a better country, and not be bigoted or not be negative. We can be positive here, and we can welcome in people that are different. You go to an Arab country, are you going to get any sort of, they're not going to be so tolerant. But here hey, you're different. So what? You want to be happy? Because I want to be happy. It's a good time. It's a good time
what's best for America. And Marty, you nailed it. I don't think we can end the show on a better note than that. What do you think, Jim?
You're here. Let's do it.
All right, one more shot. I capped the bottle, but I'll bring it back out again.
Does that mean one of us has to go? We're ending the show?
Oh, well, hang on one second. Well, first, Marty, that was beautiful. I love it. And the whiskey is still a little cold, not frozen, but cold.
I noticed it's quite a bit lower.
Yeah, a little bit. But folks, again, I that litany of names I mentioned before, all over the place, has grown so much in the last year. 2025, we have got so many great things already lined up. More things beyond that. More guests, more threefers. Thank you. I used to wear my heart on my sleeve. I guess it still shows. If I may quote the great Paul Westerberg. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Jim, Marty. Again, Marty, so glad. The show's better because of you. You say you're a dancing monkey. You are my friend. Jim, this show, I love doing this every week because of you guys. I love doing the show every week because I love giving our guests a platform to promote their projects. I love our listeners. And
all right. So is this the time where we get to be a little
sentimental?
Squishy? Yes, because I'm ready to be squishy.
Marty, we're going to let you get squishy first. I'm going to show off the shirt here. Folks, you can get your all over the place shirt at launchcast.com. But Marty,
you can edit it so that
I'm not editing anything, any part at this point. I love you guys. You're my brothers, and this show is nothing without you and the dynamic you both bring to this show. I thank you for keeping it. We're in the middle of our third season, and we're poised for so much more greatness in 2025. Thank you.
So I'm thinking back to a couple of things. Eric, I met him years ago. 6 years ago?
Closing on 6, yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, he's a bit of a nerd, but he's cool as shit, man. This is a solid dude. And the more I got to know him,
we're closing in on 9 years. I met you in 2018, so yeah.
You're right, 9 years.
7 years. 7 years.
No.
I'm not good at math, folks. I'm a broadcast, film, theater guy. Back to you, Marty. 7 years.
11 years ago.
Yes.
This guy walked into my work, and I said, "Wow, what's up with this dude? He's weird." No.
Yeah,
So,
I am. I won't deny it.
This dude is so solid. There's not a lie in him. It just isn't. He's not afraid to say shit, even if it's goofy. He don't care. He just says it. Sometimes it comes off as a goof. But man, I tell you what, there's so much value in being genuine. And I remember, I'm like, dude, what's up with the podcast? You need to do a podcast. Yeah. Well, eventually he's like, yeah, I'm going to do a podcast. And I said, that's fantastic. And he said, I got this guy that I know. He used to, I know him from before. And I got to tell you, Jim, he gushed a little bit about you. He said nice things about you. And I'm like, cool. That's awesome. Can't wait to meet him. And we've only met through this, but I got to say, he was right. You're a solid dude. You're easy to talk to, and you got a dearth. I use that pretty well, right?
Malfeasance, folks, tonight is about words that use EA in them.
Oh, there we go. Anyway, Eric, you know how I feel about you. Jim, and solid dude, great on the show. You know your shit. When you talk, I'm like, okay, nerd, go ahead. And then it ends up being really fucking interesting. So that's really cool. Super cool. Most nerds do that thing Eric did. Man, well, actually, and you doing the actually thing reminded me like, oh, you're not that guy. You're just some dude that knows shit. Ah, there we go. Anyway, it's been an absolute joy. I wish I could have been on more shows, but hey, here I am. And I just want you both to know it's been a lot of fun doing this, and I look forward to 2025. And honestly, there's like 7 or 8 more subjects that I wanted to get to, but here we are at the end. Anyway, thank you guys. I've had a lot of fun on this show. It's a great year.
Thanks, Marty.
Well, sincere thanks to you, Marty. It's been a hell of a ride. It will continue to be an even better ride. And just very, very quickly before Jim, I want to give you a last form as well. But I hinted at it earlier in talking about Ricky Henderson. The official announcement hasn't been made yet, so I won't get into the exact school at this point. I'll announce it in the new year once I have the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. But I'm going to be coaching freshman baseball, and my umpiring will be back to a hobby. God knows. I love baseball, and I'm going to be able to pass along the lessons from Ricky Henderson, the lessons from my father, the lessons from the greatest coach anybody could ever hope to have, and Bill Zednick Sr. And I'm excited for 2025. I get to be a coach. I get to be an influence. I'm excited. And
Congrats.
You're
a better man.
This is.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. I'm a substitute teacher. I'm getting my credentials on that. Opportunities have been offered to me. And this is where the emotions still run strong. And we mentioned it, when Danny Saber was here and when Michael Hutchins, the closed head injury. I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for you guys, this show, and without getting too sappy. And Marty, we'll get to the pull on this one a little bit later, but I'm humbled to do this, and I'm nothing without the good Lord. And yes, I lost a love this year, and we've talked about it already. But but the Lord has opened up so many opportunities for me in the new year. I'm going to grab them by the throat. I'm excited. It's a renewed energy, and I'm 55, and I think what's today? Yeah, pretty much. We're pretty much a month away from the midlife crisis. Blah blah blah, whatever. Fuck. I'm going to be here. I'm coaching freshman baseball, and you don't slow down. You never grow old. Thank you, guys. This show is nothing without with the dynamic that everyone, both of you guys bring to this show. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah.
My mother will hate the fact that I dropped a couple F-bombs. My dad will probably grin. They don't even watch this show. They're almost 80 folks. Not that people that 80 can't do this. They're not podcast people.
Yeah.
But
Not they can't, they won't.
Yeah. Anyway, but Jim, the floor is to you, my friend, as we wrap up 2024 and move into 2025.
Shit, you guys are a tough act to follow, man. All right. Well,
let me say this, Jim, because you're a self-admitted introvert. What you bring to the show week in and week out. Mom, sorry, but fuck yeah, Jim. America and Jim, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Well, yeah. I'll just say, yeah, I mean, anybody who knows me in real life knows I'm not an outgoing person. So this is not something that always comes easy to me. But it's been an absolute joy to be a part of this show. It's been such a thrill. It's hard to describe how much of a thrill it's been. I'm insanely grateful that Eric asked me to be a part of this. I try to contribute whatever I can, whenever I can. I really started hanging out with this group way back in my, way back when I was a single guy in my 20s in the comment section of a movie blog that I don't think even exists anymore. Libertas. And it just happened to be at the intersection of two things that I was really passionate about, which was movies and politics. And at the time, I think there was almost nothing online about that particular junction of interests. That site turned into another site and turned into another one. And I just kind of stayed with this group of people because I felt like they were really interesting people that were onto something. And Eric was one of them. And, we just we just kept getting to know each other through all these different sites and blogs. And I kept getting opportunities to post and comment and just kind of felt like I was part of this little community. And that's kind of what turned into this. We've had a lot of the, mutual online friends on here in the last few years. It's been a thrill to get to know them a little bit online and just kind of see that little community that we been a part of for so long, kind of bounce off into different sites and have different spheres of influence. And it's been really fantastic, but yeah, it's been just an absolute thrill. This is something I never thought I'd ever be a part of. And I am eternally grateful for it. And this has been an incredible year for our show. And So very, very grateful to everyone who has watched our show, who has subscribed, shared anything. It's really meant the world to me, and just really grateful to be here, and really looking forward to 2025 and beyond with you guys.
All right, now that we're done talking like a bunch of 12-year-old girls, Eric, take us home.
Well, I'm going to read.
Yes.
Oh, I love that sound. The
Drink to
opening
that.
of the cork.
Let me see if I
Gentlemen,
can do it.
2025 is going to kick much, much, much ass.
It is.
I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. I wouldn't want to share with anybody else. Thank you so much. All over the place. Don't forget, folks, subscribe, like, share. Marty, Jim, my friends, thank you so much. We're going to rock it in 2025 and beyond, my man. Thank you so much. Bullet, please sponsor us.
Let me
Oh,
just
wait,
say
one
this.
last thing.
Oh, shit. Another
My
album.
non-top
Holy shit,
five.
Jim.
That's right. Another
Halloween
album's
album.
coming.
Who could have
I'm
guessed?
seeing them in a month. I'm going to get the glare out of there. North Mississippi All-Stars. The first album I ever got from them. My brother Mark turned me on to them. This is blues, baby. Delta blues. North Mississippi All-Stars. Shake hands with Shorty. This was a Record Store Day spring version I got earlier this year. And Nick Bohr over at Vinyl Record Dude. Looking forward to many more great things with them. Moving into their new location in 2025. They're on Shea and Scottsdale. Got this from Nick earlier this year. Blues album, Americana album extraordinaire. I'm dropping the needle on this one as soon as we're off. Gentlemen, all over the place, we salute you. All over the place. God bless. Take care, everybody. We'll be back real soon.
All over the place, where the fun sanity never ends.